Okay, yes, I washed my face and cleaned up a little bit. Yeah. It was tinker with bike day and oil change on truck. The oil change on the truck has been overdue for a minute. Probably about a month. I just yeah, I hate that oil filter. Anyway, so earlier this morning I went out with the mount and the trunk that I had purchased, and I got that put on the bike. Took a couple hours. It shouldn't have. I'm sitting there and I'm reading the schematics. They actually had a schematic in there. And I'm like, it's already pre assembled. It's like 6 bolts. And the nuts are welded. So I don't even need to get another thingy to hold the nut. They're too easy. Yeah. The locking mechanisms, these little swivel, like, pull down things, they require these little hex nuts to hold it on. That's all that's holding it on, is those 2 little nuts. 2 little screws. And it's pretty tight in there. I mean, if they back themselves out, they're going to hit the bag. They're not going anywhere. The hardest part of this whole assembly type of thing was getting the bags out and tightening those. It went together totally easy. So, you know, the shipping issue, the $78 that I paid for it to get rushed here, looking on Amazon, it would have been probably close to the end of July before I got it. Keep the fucking $78. I don't give a shit. I got it on there. It was pre-assembled. I'm not complaining. Was it kind of like false advertising? Fuck yeah. Was it a headache with FedEx? Hell yeah. Don't ship shit if you need a signature with FedEx. Don't. It's a head. It's a head game. I'm honest to God. Just, if you want a signature, send it to a UPS. They'll stop it at the UPS store. You go in, you sign for your shit, you pick it up, and you go home. Too easy. FedEx, their app is insufficient. Their customer support line, the little AI bot is psychotic, interrupting. You can't fucking get anyone human. It takes forever to get a human. It is a waste of fucking time. And that is my rant on that. The tour pack, trunk, whatever you want to call it, it looks decent. I don't have a passenger seat. I just wanted the extra space secure enough where I can pack things and not have to Tetris shit, so I can take my 1,500 mile, drives out west, see my kid, see my sisters, whatever, and be able to bring what I want to bring. And not feel like I'm trying to pack for a month going to Europe in a carry-on. That's it. And have all my tools just in case of an emergency. So, moving on from that, yeah, it looks good. The paint matches. Yay. Shipping mechanism, you suck. Did they communicate? No. It pissed me off. So yeah, I have not gone and done a review. But this tour pack cost me $700. Now, if you want to go through Indian or Harley, whatever, and you want to add all these mods on there, if you want the light system on there, you want all the electronic components added on there, you want audio speakers on there, shit like that, it's going to cost you upwards of, you know, $4,400 for a trunk. That's not what I needed. I don't need all that. I just need a secure cargo area. That's it. So, we've got it all put on there. It looks good. It's tight. The direction sucked. I figured it out. It locks. It secures. Everything shuts clean. We're good to go. All my shit fits on there. We're good to go. I'm a happy bird. So, truck oil change. This is, I think it's the fourth one I put on there. Yes, the oil filter is in a fucked up, jacked up spot. I'm sorry, Ram. Do better. If I am spending $85,000 on a vehicle, and I don't want to have to deal with your service center in order to do just the basic oil fucking change and air filter change out every year or twice a year, because I don't go very far with this thing. It's like 8 miles up the road. I go to Mama's maybe 3 times a year with the truck. The rest of the time it's on the bike. Just putting it out there. I'm not, unless I need to take the truck for whatever reason. It's like 3 feet of snow on the ground, or it's raining and it's a holiday or whatever. That's about the only time I take it. The truck does not go that far. I took it out to Idaho to see my daughter because we had torrential downpours, flash floods, and about 4 hours of downpour fucking blinding rain come through my route as I was heading out to her house. I saw the weather. I was like, yeah, there's no negotiating this. We're trucking it. And what I spend in gas, I will save in hotels on this one. I was not excited about taking the truck out there. Not because I don't like my truck. Is I prefer to ride the bike because it is a therapy for me. I like to ride the bike. Long distance. I like to just rip across Nebraska and Wyoming doing 80 miles an hour, not worrying about, while I was in the truck, I had a psychotic fucking bumper humper that I ended up having to brake check to get her fucking away from me. On the bike, I don't have as much controversy as that. Typically, I ride when there's going to be a migration. So when I went up north to New York, in New Hampshire, they had Lacona currently going on. When I brought my bike out to my daughter's the last time, Sturgis was going on. So there was a lot of bikes on the road. People were acclimated to seeing them. When I go out this time, Sturgis is going to be going on. Now, Sturgis is always going on, but they always have fun stuff going on during a certain couple of weeks in August. That's the rally week, right? If I travel anytime between the 1st of August and the 10th of August, there's going to be a big motorcycle migration, whether it be locals riding in or trucks trailering their shit in. I'm not going to be spontaneous, like out there like nobody's seeing it, kind of thing. It's motorcycle season. the likelihood of someone cutting me off and me in a fucktard is very slim to none. Anyway, almost got killed in Missouri once. The light turned green. I went left. Truck ran a red light. Missed me by about that much. Yeah. Had that. New York. Left-hand turn. I was a yellow yield. The car that was in front stopped for me and let me go. The car that was behind them fucking decided to go around them for no reason other than honking their horn and nearly taking me out. The reason why they were stopped and slowing down was just to let me get through that turn. Because I was the only one there. It was the middle of the night. They knew the light was going to be hinky. That person that was in front was being nice. The one behind them was a crotch. I run into shit like that all the time. Yep. Yeah. If I was smart, I would have hit that first U-turn pass, went back and said, something fucked up. What's your rush? It's fucking 2 a.m. Right? Honest to God. So, anyway, I have kept myself busy. Just Friday was a washout. I slept. I rejuvenated. Probably because Thursday night I puked. Yeah, I was just like, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to leave this house. It was so freaking hot all week long. But I'm glad. I mean, yay. Because it was quiet. Because I hate 4th of July. The fireworks are not just on the 4th. They're all week long. And because we had a no rain, heat advisory, firework fire hazard, because the land and the grass and the trees and everything was so dry, they weren't allowing the firework bullshit all week long. So it occurred on Monday, and I think they might have gotten the law called on them. And yeah, I was trying to sleep. I had to be into work at like 11:30, 12 o'clock. And I was laying there 6, 7 o'clock. They started popping off. There was one thing where it was like pop, 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 pop. And I fucking shot out of bed. I was like, Jesus, fuck. I'm cussing to the ceiling. There's nothing I can do. Right? But I managed to pull probably 2 or 3 hours of sleep out of that one. After they finally stopped. And that is because we are currently under heat advisory. And the peeps that were fucking setting them off are the same assholes that burned their fucking grandparents' house to the ground a couple years ago. Yeah. It was it was quite literally like July 2, July 3rd, something like that. I woke up, got the dog on the leash, went and walked the dog, and I looked between the houses that were behind me, and there's a band full of people and a bunch of flickering fucking lights. I looked to the left, I looked up, and there's this billowing smoke, and I had to literally go into my neighbor's backyard to see what was going on, because we had this thick thing of trees. The house is on fire. It's like I have him and another guy and the one next to him. That house was literally in flames. They were setting all fucking fireworks, and the house started on fire at about 10 o'clock at night. And I was asleep enough to not hear it. But yeah, it was like 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Yeah, they had 5 different fire departments from 5 different districts over here trying to put that fucker out. Because the kids were fucking around with fireworks in the street, and one shot through the window of their own grandparents' house and burnt the fucker to the ground. And what were they doing on Monday? Same shit. It's been peaceful all fucking week long. Since Monday. They started their tomfoolery. Someone nipped that shit in the bud. It is now July 4. Nothing happened last night, even though it rained. They've all been, like, playing with crap over in the apartments, whatnot. Yeah, they finally put their foot down. It's like, this is ridiculous. What, are you going to risk burning your fucking grandparents' house down again? Duh. Hang on, I need a refill. I'll be right back. So there's that. So anyway. Trunk's on. Oil change is done. I got to grease the pulleys on the zero turn. And I got to do the oil change on the bike. A second one. Only because when I went up to New York, I had just done the oil change before that. I didn't put any miles on it whatsoever. And, something black on my nose? Probably, because I've been messing around with grease and shit. Anyway, I didn't put any miles on it at all. And, I rode up Elmira, stayed 24 hours, rode up to the Adirondacks, did the ride, hung out with friends, ate some food, jumped on the bike, went back to Elmira, hung out overnight, slept, whatever. And then the next morning, before I headed back to Tennessee, I went and checked the oil. And it was, like, way low. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I had 1 quart with me. Put that in there. And then I was a little nervous the whole fucking ride. So I got to Ohio, and every time I filled up, topped off whatever, Pennsylvania, New York, Seneca, I checked the service station, and I checked their oil thing and make sure that, see if they had any 2-cycle, or not 2-cycle, but V-twin, specific oil. 1050, 2050, 1560, something for V-twin, right? There was nothing. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So, a little nervous. I was kind of taking it easy, not, putting pedal to the metal kind of thing, doing 80 like I usually do. I was doing like 70, 75. And I got to Ohio. It was just outside of Ashland. And stopped at this one little service station. There was another bike there. And I was looking at the oil, and I'm like, the girl come in. She was in leather and whatnot. And I was like, you on that blue Harley? She was like, yeah, it's my husband. I was like, they ain't got nothing for V-twin in here, do they? She's like, no, they don't. And this is so weird, right? I was like, I need 1 quart of something for V-twin. She was like, wow, what's going on? I was like, well, I just gave it the oil change. It's so bizarre. I said, but it was low. So I put the other quart in. I said, it's reading right at the add line, And I'm a little nervous. I got to get all the way back to Tennessee. And I don't know how it's going to act. I said, I can't believe I blew through 5 fucking quarts of oil on a 1,500-mile trip. You know, that kind of thing. She was like, my husband's probably got some. I said, I will pay him for this oil. She was like, let me see what he's got. So she went out and told him, and he was like, here, take this. And I was like, how much? He was like, don't even worry about it. He goes, weird oil and mixed oil is better than no oil. He's like, get it up above that ad line. He goes, you'll be good until you get home, and then give it an oil change when you get there. So he's really sweet people. I was like, you don't live very far, I hope. He's like, nah, I ain't gonna need it. I just, it's kind of like, it's kind of like biker habit. You keep extra oil on your bike. I said, I do. I used it this morning, and now I'm still nervous because it's not where I want it, right? He was like, oh yeah, I get it. I was like, so, what do I owe you? And he was like, nothing. Just take it. And go ahead, get home, and give it an oil change after you get home. Park it. Don't ride it until you get an oil change. I was like, thank you. Appreciate it. Peace out. So, yeah, lovely couple. Very nice. They were driving Harley. I'm driving Indian. We get it. Shit. Anyway. So, yeah, that's the reason why I got to give it an oil change. It's not necessarily due. It's just, it's got 2 different weights in there. One is full synthetic. The other one is semi-synthetic. The semi-synthetic is a 2040. The full synthetic is a 1560. I only used about half of the quart. But it's kind of messy. And yeah, it needs to come out. And got to get it ready to go out to Idaho. I have since started researching different brands and looking around, and I want to go full synthetic on my bike. But I know the 1560 is my Thunderstroke does not like it. And that is what Indian used to use when they did all my oil changes, when I would get it serviced while it was under warranty. And I had a bearing seize. Yeah, that was new for me too, right? And so, yeah, they're kind of jerks over there. But since that happened, they did that first oil change. I went out to Colorado. I leaked a little oil. I bought some stuff. I went ahead and, topped it off. Cranked down on the oil filter because the oil filter likes to walk itself out on these bikes. Yeah, you gotta, death grip it. Anyway, from that point on, I have done my own oil changes on the bike. I buy the semi-synthetic 2040 Indian mix that I think the distributor is actually out of Colorado. I get that one. And that's what I've been using on it. Haven't had any problems since. Took that guy's 1560 just to get me home. Because I didn't want to roll into my driveway dry. That was what I was worried about. Is that it was going to burn it up before I got home. So I looked into, there's a brand called Klotz, Klotz, and I have that coming on a subscription. So I'm not entirely sure where it is. Give me a second. I put it, I thought it was going to be here, like, I was hoping. Yeah, this quick release trunk. Yeah, I've been like, I was looking for like an installation thing, and now I'm all these like tour pack things are popping up. But yeah, mine doesn't have any lights on it. I might invest in some like cool like hold on. Three. Decal reflector type of things. Maybe find some skulls or something. I don't know. But anyway, let's see when this stuff is supposed to get here. I thought it was going to be here by now. Oh, delivered today. Where? Is it on my front porch and I didn't see it? Oh! It might be at UPS. I don't think it was on the porch. Give me a second. It's here! Yay! Let's see what we got. Oh, that's the bottom. Alright, there's the filter. Wow, you're a little teeny filter. Okay. HF 175. It's Harley Davidson and Indian. God, they're a tiny little filter. I don't know if I don't know. Where's my gasket? They got my gaskets in here, though. Those look right. Okay. High flow. Filtro. Let's take a look. Alright, this is the Klotz kit. My God, it's tiny. Alright, hang on. Let me get my Indian kit and see what we got here. Hang on a minute. Ooh! Alrighty. But we got 6 quarts. Alright. Yeah. Okay, this one comes from Indian Distributor. And this is the stuff that my... Technically, you know, even via the AI, I was like asking, you know, what should I be using? Yeah, this one didn't even come in the box. So, that's what the Indian gives me. Alright. These go in here. Okay, let's see if they're... God, they do. Oh. I'm kind of a filter snob. I will not I prefer wicks. Yeah. This is the one that came with Indian. They're different sizes. The Indian one is actually... They do look a little different. The Indian one's a little smaller. So, yeah, and it didn't come in a box. Klotz come with a box. This one is just tossed in here. I know how to do this. It gives you instructions. Does it tell you to do 3 foot-pounds torque? Torque to specs. Now, this one, dude at the shop told me 3 foot-pounds. This is telling me 15 foot-pounds. Yeah, it took me a minute. he told me, I verified with him the last time I was there. I was like, 3 foot-pounds, right? He's like, yeah, 3 foot-pounds. And I was like, okay. So I went and bought a torque wrench, and I set it, and I followed the directions and made sure. Yep. And it's saying 15. So maybe that's the problem. Yeah. Total amount of oil required for the oil filter change is approximately 5.5 to 6 quarts. I use 5. 5 comes right up. Perfect every time. And I take the last quart and I put it. Yeah. So I've got the full synthetic clots. Custom formula for Indian and Victory engine. I think we're and I've got these guys on a subscription, so I think we're gonna set that one aside. I'm gonna use that as an emergency backup. And I'm glad this showed up today. I'm not ready to do the oil change. We're gonna do it in the morning, but I'm gonna do it with the clots and take it for a ride and see how it acts. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm really, there's times where I'm like really skeptical about shit, but this I am feeling warm and fuzzy about that Klotz 2040 synthetic brand. So I've got them come in. I think they're coming once every 6 months, which will work. That's fine. The type of oil versus the chemistry of the oil is not so much important as the weight. I don't ride my motorcycle in the winter nearly as much as I do in the summertime. And here in Tennessee, it is hot as fuck. It does not need a super thin cold temp. It needs something a little bit substantial because it's fucking hot here. When I do ride it in the winter, it is generally on warmer days. It is warmer outside. It's 50, 60 degrees. And when I do decide to ride it, I usually just turn it on and let it idle, and I come back in the house and let it sit out there and warm up. I don't jump right on it and I start it up. I'll even shut the damn garage door and leave it running. If I know I'm going to be riding the bike, I just leave it running for 15, 20 minutes, idling. On the tender is still attached to the damn thing. I don't get worked up and rushy and getting it out of the garage or none of that. I basically I give that fucking bike its coffee and let it do its coffee and leave it alone and let it do its thing. That is, yeah. Motorcycles are not, most of them are not designed to be rode in cold weather anyway. And your style of oil, even your weight of oil, depending on how versatile your engine really is. Like, my 2007 Dodge Ram, I can't remember what the fuck I used to put in that shit. I think it was 1030, 1040. Whatever, the cap said on the top, that's what I fucking put in it. But I would put full synthetic in it as opposed to semi-synthetic or even just regular motor oil. And the truck itself was basically born in Texas. It was a Texas truck. So when I got it up here to Tennessee and it was feeling winters a little bit more intensely, I gave it that leniency of, weird hiccup behavior kind of thing. Now, my Softail Slim, I gotta give you, that damn bike pissed me off. It had so many fucking weird issues wrong with it, but the day I needed to ride it, to give it to the person who bought it, I changed the battery, got everything connected, hit that fucking start switch, and boom. It sat 2 years in that garage and did not move. It started up like a fucking dime. I did the oil changes on that too. And I started using Lucas oil. I stopped going to the Harley dealership and buying all the shit. I started doing Lucas oil changes. So, your motorcycle's personality, my motorcycle's personality is, it does not like the 1560 full synthetic. The weight is too thin. It likes the 420, but I don't like the semi-synthetic. I don't know what it is with that. It just... But this full synthetic from this guy, I can't wait to put it on there. I can't wait to give it a test drive and see how it acts. And if there's a difference. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. But shitty oil is better than no oil. So the Indians will go onto the bike as a backup. The semi-synthetics, because it matches the weight. But I am going to change it out with the Klotz tomorrow. Fuck yeah. I'm happy. I'm a happy bird. So I'm glad I waited. Because I did not know that it had gotten delivered. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know what day it was going to get here. So, anyway, that has been my day. Yeah, oil change on the truck, done. Check. I got to grease the mower. Got to mow the grass. And I've got to do another oil change on the Indian because of oil mixture. But it's not that serious. It was shifting great when it came into the house. Got it parked in the garage, whatnot. But I'm not going to take a 1,500, 3,000 mile, 3,200 mile, 3,600 mile road round trip with that bike with that oil in there. Ain't going to happen. So, I hope everybody's had a great 4th. I know I've talked about the nuances of the fireworks and shit. I can't stand them. I can't. I typically get drunk on July 4th just so I can sleep through this crap. Because I just don't want to fucking... I can't. My, Zoloft does not cut the mustard with, pacifying the fucking, jitters in the nervous system that the bangs and the booms and the shit causes in me. I can't stand it. It makes me nuts. And so, yeah. If I get a little loopy because I'm drinking a few too many, It's because I can't stand the noise today. But I think I'm going to cook me something to eat because I am kind of hungry. And I did not eat good yesterday. Yeah, after I take that shot, that's my scheduled shot in the morning. Yeah. I don't know. That first day sucks. GLP-1 first day sucks. My blackberry bushes are loaded. I don't feel like going out and picking any of that shit. I'm about to just sacrifice the rest of it and like let the birds have it. Anyway, y'all, happy 4th, happy 250th anniversary. We ain't gonna last 400 years. I'm glad I'm not gonna be around to see that shit. But y'all, believe what you want to believe. I foresee that shit is going downhill real quick because the dollar is worth less than the fucking British pound. And when that happens, yeah. Simplest terms, we're fucked. Peace out, y'all.